call on our Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Happy New Year's to everyone. I have read the minutes and find them to be in order and accurate. Move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Motion and a second. Any comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item 2 is public comments. We did have someone ask to have a public comment. However, there is not on. But I'm having Michael get a hold of our attorney just to see if this committee can vote and say, hey, we'll listen to a public comment. I just make sure we're following our rules. He updates me on that. I'll let you know, and whether we'll take a vote. That way this lady won't have to stick around. I told her at least it would be under other. Anyway, let's go to our third item, which is the investment report.
Jeff Beatty, Rutherford County Trustee. Good evening. Interest rates we're at 4.05 on our banking relationship. Most of our money that's not tied up in another investment is at LGIP, which was at 4.56 this month, and we're able to lock in for longer term in the mid-4s. So just taking advantage of what the market offers and laddering some money out, and kind of what our plan normally is, but rates are a little lower, but maybe going to be steady for a month or two.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Sir.
Can I ask a question, Chair?
Those are.
It's just an LGIP account, Teb, where we've got some money from the ERA money left that's sitting in there.
Those counts are listed as we keep some funds separate to keep up with those. So, thank you, Michael.
we get some grants, like our opioid money is going to be in a separate account, and so that is some old emergency rental assistance money waiting to be sent back to the federal government. They control when we send it back, but they also mandate that we have it in a separate interest-bearing account, and that's why it's listed separate there. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Bates.
Thank you.
Item 4, fund condition report. Michael.
So the good news is we're where we should be for revenue at this time of year. I will point out a couple things on the revenue report. One, as of the end of December, we have collected almost 52% of property taxes, which is normal. That's in line with prior years. However, on the revenue report, if you look last year at this time, at December, we'd only collected 21%. That was because one of the large escrow companies paid us in January last year instead of December. But we're where we should be. The good news is county side of sales tax is still up for the year, so that is good news. And that's all I have for the revenue, but I will also just kind of make an announcement that next week we will be sending out the budget forms to all the departments in the county. So even though it seems like we just got done with budget, that'll be starting next week again for the departments. So I'll keep y'all updated on how that goes.
Heard his report. Any questions from the committee? Motion to approve the report. And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, risk management financial report.
In the 264 fund for the month of December 2024, you'll see the revenue, $2,323,702. Expenditures, $2,604,723. Revenue less expenditures, you'll see a negative $281,021. For the calendar year, revenue is $23,347,039. Expenses, $23,653,738. Revenue less expenditures for the calendar year, a negative $306,699. And for the fiscal year for 24-25, revenue is revenue is $11,747,579. Expenditures $13,018,281. Revenue less expenditures, a negative $1,270,702. On the OJI 266 fund report, for the month of December 2024, workers' comp, $550.45. OJI, $100,658.43. The total for the month of December is $101,208.88. For your year-to-date totals, for the month, for workers' comp, $5,886.94. OJI, $531,925.95, for the total of $537,812.87. County attorney for the month of December, it was $33,776.68. And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Y'all stay safe.
Item 6, application and acceptance for the 2024 ASPCA National Shelter Grant Initiative for PAWS.
We're asking to apply and accept this grant. It is no county match required, and it's for $6,000. The funds will be used to provide rabies vaccinations and emergency vet care for members of the public.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
This will be an apply and accept, correct?
Call roll, please.
Commissioner Piercy?
Yes.
Commissioner Shrino?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Have a good evening.
Item 7, general fund budget amendment for the 2024 Justice Assistant.
Good evening. I'm Steve Spence, Deputy Chief with the Sheriff's Office. This amendment is being requested for the 2024 Justice Assistant Grant that is allocated equally to the City of Murfreesboro and Rutherford County from the Edward Byron Memorial JAG Local Allocation Grant. Funds from this allocation will be used to purchase a state-of-the-art firearms simulator. This equipment will be used to implement training technologies that enhance our officer skills and preparedness. It will offer realistic and dynamic scenarios for firearms training, decision-making, and crisis management. This grant allocation does not require a match. Requesting to accept the $30,978 and place it into our law enforcement equipment.
Okay, you've heard the request. This is something that we quite a few years. Have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second, Chanto and someone else over here. Any further discussion? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Piercy?
Yes.
Commissioner Shrino?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
8, please continue.
Yes, sir. This amendment is to recognize revenue and expenses for unallocated balance of the financial year 22 Office of Justice Program Bureau of Justice Assistance Grant. the body-worn camera. It is to utilize remaining funds to purchase 20 more body-worn cameras for patrol plus 9 months of cloud services. This is a 50-50 match grant. This is the final year of this award. It ends September the 30th for 2025. Requesting to move the $14,963 with $14,963 from unassigned fund balance and place it into our data processing equipment.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions for Chief Spence?
Yes, sir. Okay, so on these 20, where does that get us as far as the number, as far as the number of officers having it?
Yes, if this is approved and then the grant that y'all approved just last month, it'll give us 364 body-worn cameras.
Questions? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Piercy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno,
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris, Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Spence, a quick question for you. You want to give us any kind of updates on weather or cautions, or?
We, our SROs, since the schools are closed, we're going to utilize them on patrol to help answer calls. Same thing with the courthouse deputies, but we're waiting to see how bad it's going to be. Thank you.
Item 9, ambulance service fund budget transfer and amendments. I see this guy. He's always needing money somewhere or other.
Brian Gaither, EMS Director. We are asking to move money from within our budget, 133 paraprofessionals into our 169 part-time personnel. That's to cover some vacancies and some FMLA coverages. And
That's up to the committee. You want to do them both, or do you want to wait? The other one is pretty large.
And then the second one is to recognize the grant money from the Garrison East Foundation, $35,000, and to put it into the 735 line item for health equipment.
That got
Yes, sir.
motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Commissioner Piercy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno,
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris, Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, Brian. And
Y'all have a good evening.
before you run away, me having said that about you asking for money, this agencies that we have that actually generates revenue for us, so I wanted to throw that in there too. Asking for money and thank you. Item 10, grant amendment for the evidence-based program grant and related general fund budget amendments. Recovery. Hey.
Good evening, Lindsay Davis, the Reentry Program Coordinator with the Recovery Courts. We are requesting approval of the budget amendment for the Evidence-Based Programming Grant through the State of Tennessee Office of Criminal Justice Programs. This will increase the maximum liability from $1 million to $2 million and extend the grant through June 2027. Yes.
Any questions from the committee on this?
What exactly is this doing? What exactly is this doing?
Yeah, so this grant is the Evidence-Based Jail Programming Grant. So it allows us to do programs in the jail. We're partnering with the Adult Detention Center and bringing in vocational programming. We'll also have a building on site to do programming, and that's what this additional funding will help us do.
No match also, is it?
Correct, it is no match. It's a grant that we have had with the state since 2021, so it's just an additional extension.
Other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion. Got another moment for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the grant. Second, Commissioner Harris. Other discussion? Call roll.
Commissioner Piercy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno,
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris, Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner P.
Yes, motion carries. Please continue.
The Recovery Court is asking for permission to enter into an agreement with Tennessee College of Applied Technology. We received a SAMHSA grant that allows us to do vocational services and OSHA training within our program. And we have an agreement that we are wanting to put in place with them to provide those services.
Questions from the committee? Motion to accept.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Sereno. Call roll, please.
Commissioner Piercy,
Yes.
Commissioner Srinio,
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris, Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 12, application and acceptance for amendment to the Juvenile Court State Custody and actually asking for approval to apply for next year, if I'm not mistaken.
ADE representing Juvenile Court. We are requesting permission to apply for and accept an amendment to the Juvenile Court Custody and Prevention Grant with the Tennessee Department of Children's Services. The amendment will extend the grant for 1 year through June 30th, 2026, and increase the grant amount by $46,448 with no local match required.
Heard the request. Do I?
Katie, you're also contracting with Solutions Education to continue on with that contract? Okay.
Questions from the committee? I have a motion to approve, Commissioner
Second.
Johnson. Second, Commissioner Sereno. Any further questions? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Piercy,
Yes.
Commissioner Srinio,
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris, Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes, motion carries. You've got one more, don't you?
We're requesting permission to apply for and accept an amendment to the recurring Tennessee Department of Human Services grant to fund child support enforcement pursuant to Title 4D of the Social Security Act. The grant funds a portion of the juvenile court magistrate's salary. This is a matching grant, 66% grant, 34% county.
Actually, this is helping us pay for a person. Any further questions?
Move to approve.
Second, Commissioner Johnson. Further discussion? Roll.
Commissioner Piercy,
Yes.
Commissioner Srinio,
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris, Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Drive safe. Item 14, agreement with Cyracom International, Inc. for virtual interpreter services. Oh, Brian, I thought you'd already left us, brother. It's good to see you. By the way, congratulations on
What we have before you, Byron Cumbie, Director, Rutherford County Health Department. What we have before you is a contract with Cyracom International. That's a video interpreter service, and this would allow us to use an iPad-based video interpreter in our health departments. This is funded by the state. It's in our current grant contract of this year, and Director Smith has established a line item in our budget for it.
match grant.
No match.
No match, sorry.
It's already in the budget.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve and a second. Commissioner Gooch.
Irvin and Gooch.
Irvin and
Okay.
Gooch, yes. Further discussion. Call roll, please.
Commissioner Piercy,
Yes.
Commissioner Srinio, Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris, Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes, motion carries. Item 15, general purpose school fund budget amendment. Welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners, Chairman. Brian Runyon, CFO, Rutherford County Schools. We've got one budget amendment request tonight, and it's an amendment to increase General Purpose Fund 141 budgeted revenues and expenditures in the amount of $980,385 to recognize the awarded State Special Education Pre-K Grant for FY 24-25 and the FY 23-24 carryover amount. The funds will be used for additional educational assistant positions to assist in the voluntary pre-K classrooms, additional training for teachers and EAs, sensory and de-escalation items, and supplies and material for IPK classrooms. This grant will ensure that all students will have access to highly trained teachers and staff to meet their educational needs. This is a reoccurring grant and requires no local match.
Okay, you've heard the request. Question, please, go ahead.
There are actually, let me look at the guidance I was given. It's going to be for 11 VPK classes. I don't know exactly how many schools that's in, but it's for 11 VPK classes, and there are 10 IPK classes as well.
Other questions from the committee?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the call roll, please.
Commissioner Piercy?
Yes.
Commissioner Sherino?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, question for you before you get away. Can you jump James Evans and tell us about schools tomorrow?
I'll try to do my best. Yes, schools tomorrow are closed. There's no delays, just they are closed. So if you watch it, there is a video out there between Murfreesboro City Schools and us. So they did a joint announcement today about 3:30, somewhere around there, announcing that schools are closed tomorrow. So.
Thank you. Okay, item 16, Highway Fund Budget Amendments. Comes a man that's been busiest in the county probably in the last 24 hours or so.
Hey, we have something for you tonight, but we're so far down the list I've forgotten what it was. Actually, we have two budget amendments for you tonight. I have two budget amendments for you tonight. The first one I believe you will see is for a bridge that we are going to have worked on, and it will be a decrease from our fund ending balance, which is account number 131-34750, in the amount of $675,000, and then an increase to our bridge construction line item in the same $675,000.
Committee, you want to do the next one together, or you want to separate? We'll do them both.
All right. The next one you'll see is for the employee salary increase that was recently done, and this is what it looks like for the highway department. It will be with the public works and then the highway department together. I think the total is $47,915. So, and that is salary and the benefits associated with those salaries.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Reno, any further questions? Roll, please.
Commissioner Piercy?
Yes.
Commissioner Sherino?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Item 17 is the Rutherford Opioid Board recommendations. Michael, you going to
So yesterday, the Rutherford County Opioid Board approved two new allocations one to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and one to Hustle Recovery. The total of those is $139,900. And so that's what's before you tonight. The Sheriff's Office will be used to purchase warranty for a mass spectrometer in addition to the cleaning kit for that specialized mass spectrometer. And then additionally, the $100,000 will go to Hustle Recovery, and I believe that's their second tranche of money. They come back and report to the committee to report on their progress before the committee gives them any additional funds. And so this should be their second tranche of money this fiscal year.
Questions for the director? Have a motion? Second, Commissioner Gooch. Any further discussion? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Piercy?
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to other business. We have several things there. Michael, were you able to get a hold of our attorney? I'm going to leave it up to the committee. I'll recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you. I've tried calling Eric Hennessy as well and can't get him over the phone.
Eric Hennessy is in Peru. So.
Well, that's the reason he's not answering his phone. My interpretation of public comments is that the full commission meeting, it does not have to be an agenda item. At committee meetings, it needs to be on the agenda, or the rules can be suspended to allow the person to speak on an item that's not on the agenda. I think they would need to disclose the topic that they're going to talk about. So it's possible that you could suspend the rules and allow a person to speak.
Chairman P, I will make the motion to suspend the rules since they are here tonight and let them come and speak, because what they're wanting to speak about is not on our agenda.
Would you mind go ahead and mentioning what they're going to speak on?
They are going to speak on bus contract money.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we will allow them to speak. I've got several things on the agenda. They will be last, but welcome to stay. All right, under other business, we are required by the state to do a presentation on debt obligation. Michael?
So if y'all remember, we sold bonds last month, and we officially closed yesterday on those bonds, and then part of that is we're required to submit a report on debt obligation to the state comptroller's office and to the governing body. So it'll be presented here tonight and at the commission meeting next week. But I will mention a couple of things. That report is on your iPad. Our true interest costs on that debt issuance was 2.81%. So that was good news for us. The other the best news about this is we did a refunding for 7 years. That saved us about $1 million over the life of that next 7 years. And then if y'all remember, we have a plan to pay down some of our debt to call 3 years remaining on those bonds that were refunded. And we're anticipated to save an additional $2 million on that. So all in all, this should save us about $3 million over 10 years. And so that's the good news. That's the gist of this.
Thank you.
I'll note one more thing, and I mentioned this, I think, last month, but I'll go ahead and mention it again because I think it's worth mentioning. On the first page of that report on debt obligations is our bond rating. You'll notice we were AAA rated again with Moody's and AA plus again with S&P. Matter of fact, they liked our financials. We didn't even have to have a full rating call with them. So that was good news that they liked the work Rutherford County's doing. And so I just want to point that out because I thought that really helped us this time.
Okay. Next item under other business is I had a request, actually from Chairman Harris.
Yeah, Commissioners, our Stewarts Creek High School band has had the honor to participate into the President Inauguration. So they're the only school out of Tennessee that was invited. So they had to raise up to $120,000, I believe, to go. And they are short, and I am proposing that the county give $7,500 to help them to go on this inauguration trip, and I believe the school board is going to give some money as well. So I was asked to for a motion to award Stewarts Creek Band $7,500 to go on the inauguration band trip.
That is a motion. Do I heard about 3 or 4 seconds? And Michael, go ahead.
I want to clarify something too. We'll be sending this money to Stewarts Creek High School because there is a band booster club. This, if the county sends money, we'll be sending it to the high school itself, to the school activity funds.
We don't really have a choice on that, just so you know. All right. Any further discussion? I want to say this is a great honor for our county to be able to represent our state. So, call roll, please.
Commissioner Piercy?
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes. Motion carries. Next on the other business agenda, Cody York got a short presentation for us.
Appreciate you. Wanted to bring to your attention, had a conversation with the chairman. There's a grant that the state, it's pass-through money, the federal government's given it to the state. It's being administered by STS, the Strategic Technology Solutions for the state, their kind of IT department. And it's cybersecurity grant money. This has the second year of the grant. We were not planning on applying, either OIT wasn't planning on applying, the Sheriff's Office wasn't planning on applying, and EMA was not planning on applying. Last year, the state really favored small counties, kind of to the exclusion of other counties. So we assumed that was their position this year, but we had a meeting, so we weren't planning on applying, but we had a meeting with them in late December, where the state kind of said, no, we really want you to apply. Like, that was our strategy then. It's changed now. Please apply. So apparently some of the smaller counties weren't able to actually do some of the things that they had gotten the grant money to do. So, so with that new information, that put us like 6 days from the filing deadline. So I reached out to, I called the mayor, and the mayor told me to call, the mayor was supportive of it, but said, hey, you need to talk to Chairman P and make sure that from a county commission, standpoint, what should we do? So the chairman said, hey, yeah, go ahead, apply. I don't want to get in the way of anything, but I do want you to come and let us know, let the committee know what's, what happened, and that give them a briefing on the information. So, so that's why I'm here. So really wanted, this is cybersecurity grant money. So it's money specifically for a cybersecurity posture. Now, like many things in our world, I don't want to get into too many details about like the names of vendors and things like that, but the Sheriff's Office, it's a there are several parts to the application. One of them is the Sheriff's Office, so we are carrying the grant for the Sheriff's Office. We're applying for the Sheriff's Office. The other pieces, one will help EMA, and then the other pieces are for the county in general. So it's a no-match grant, so it's 100%. This grant, if previous experience stands true, this will be money that will not actually show up. They won't award it for like 8 to 10 months from now. But of course, when that time, if we do happen to be awarded, I'll come back before this committee and get you guys' approval before anything happens on that front. But that's why I'm here today. Basically, just doing what the chairman asked me to do and give you guys an update.
How much are you applying for? Can you tell me that?
Yeah, I can give you that. Hold on. So they're separate. The way the application is they're separate things. So one is 400,000, one is 500,000, one is 50,000, and one has a $0 amount because it is licenses. So it's something that's a service that's been administrated by the state.
Oh, Chairman Harris.
Can you use this grant money towards premiums?
The insurance premiums? No, sir.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to say again, the reason I asked him to come to talk about this is another case where we didn't get the information that this was going to be available to us till our deadlines of meeting with our subcommittees were passed. And personally, I can't see giving up almost $1 million of no-match grants, especially since it has to come back to this committee and the other committees for approval. So this is basically just letting him apply. But I always want to make y'all aware of that. Commissioner Irvin.
Does this give rise to any ongoing, additional ongoing obligations? Like, are we going to have to hire people and or spend more money in the future if it's not renewed, kind of a thing?
No, all of these are for purchases. So they are not, they're either purchases or licenses that we could let go of. There's no, it's not like the first year of a 5-year thing where we've got to pick up the rest of the, anything like that. These can be one-off. We can buy it, use the service, and then discontinue it if we don't want to continue it after the grant.
Thank you.
Right. Commissioner Johnson.
I have one question. Will the CCRC benefit from any of this? The benefits that you furnish?
Yeah, so the pieces that are county-wide, there would be a benefit to CCRC because they are in our network in general. Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
Well, I was just told that we don't need a motion. We've already allowed him basically to apply, but when this comes back, we definitely would. So.
Yeah, hopefully I can come back and you can give me that motion next time.
Okay.
I appreciate it, Commissioner Johnson, and thank you, Cody, for the update.
Thank you, guys. All
right. I actually have another person that had requested to speak ahead of time, but at this time, the lady that had approached wanted to speak about the bus contracts, I think. Please come forward. Please state your name and we'll let you.
Hello, my name is Kim Erb, and I'm a Rutherford County bus contractor. I'm also a member of our bus organization, which is about 68% of our contractors. 2025 is the year for our new contract. We're working with the school board. We've started negotiations with them. In the last 4 years, we got 14% increase. Inflation was 19%. School buses in the last 4 years has increased over 50%. The little buses, that's the large bus, the little buses has increased over 100%. Our labor, our maintenance, our parts, if you can even get parts, have all increased over 50%, which is really putting us in a tough spot of staying in business. Also, there was a change in the Tennessee state law this year that shifts the burden of carrying the liability insurance from the school board to the school bus contractors, which that will have to start this year, which we've never had to do that before. That's going to be a large increase. I've come tonight to ask the commissioners to be supportive of the school board and hoping that the school board will work with us and help us in what we're asking for. We're not being unfair. We're just needing to get caught up. They've gotten behind over the past few years, and we've not gotten the kind of increase that we needed. And then, of course, everybody knows these past 4 years have been tough, and we just really need some help from the commissioners to help the school board to make the best decision for all of us. And I'm going to try to come to the full commission also and ask for help from all, but you guys are the finance, so that's why I'm here tonight. Thank you.
Chairman P.,
Recognized.
just for clarity, the school bus contract that they're referring to was a 4-year contract. The first year they got a 5% increase, and they got 3% a year for the next 3 years. I didn't want you to sit here and think it was 14% a year. Thank you.
Other comments? Commissioner James the other night at Public Works requested, and I just wanted to mention this, I expected him to be here tonight since he's not been able to. He had requested some money to be set aside for rain gear for our convenience center workers. I told him he was welcome to come. There was a vote, and really wasn't time to get it on the agenda, but since there was a formal vote on that, I want to mention it. First thing I told him, as far as whether it would be approved or not, we'd have to look at Director Wagner's budget, see if he had the money in there to do that. It's actually something that they would want to do. Bishop did say he would look at putting it in the coming year's budget regardless of what we decided to do, but so you know that we did look at that, and being nothing else on the agenda or comments, we're adjourned.